Honestly Speaking with Balaji. Today I'm going to meet one of the uh, very known physiotherapist in Chennai, as well as he is very famous in India too. Mr. Franklin is going to join us shortly, and we are going to discuss various things about our posture, about how to recover from a small injury, and how to take care of our regular health. So here he is. So
Hi, Vala.
hello, Mr. Franklin. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Are you in clinic? I'm good. I'm good.
Yes, sir. In clinic.
Oh, is it great? So you started opening your clinic, isn't it?
Yes, with the guideline of the government, yes, we started opening the clinic 2 weeks back.
Oh,
More than the problem by itself, it's a fear of people because
okay.
the last option for them is to come to the clinic. But
Okay.
still, when it is a pain, and obviously they run inside the clinic, and
True.
we are ready to serve them whatever time it is.
Okay. Great. And first of all, let me thank you for joining my show, Honestly Speaking with Balaji. I just quickly brief about my show, and I'm connecting with various industry professionals like you, and as well as business experts to get to know their experience as well as their expertise to share with the world. So I will be
Hmm.
uploading these videos on my common forums like Facebook, YouTube. And it's actually a YouTube program where I'll be uploading a lot of videos, uh,
Okay.
as well as Instagram for people to know about what we are talking. And they will definitely get a lot of insights from you. But that's the idea behind it. So, are you ready? Can I start?
Yeah, I appreciate your effort, and yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay. So, Franklin, as a physiotherapist, was it by your choice or was it by your chance? So, how did it happen?
Okay, so it was just a push from my mom that physiotherapy students, when you say a bunch of people, they
Hmm.
are the people who missed MBBS and they are the people who missed BDS and the people who have missed a lot of other courses on the top of it, and then last they come into a BPT. That is a
Okay.
choice for many percentage of the people. But here, yes, I was pushed with my mom saying that, and also through one of my friend who just got inside the college. And
Okay.
after second year, there was one incident which happened. So I started loving the subject. So
Wow.
it's not about loving the subject. It's not on the overall superficially. I thought like I have to go deeper into the subject.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, we are 42 people in the colleges, and I would rather say only three are practicing now,
Wow. Amazing.
and I'm one among them. And I run an organization, Synergy Physiocare and Rehab Center. So I have nearly around 12 people working for me, and now it is basically an organization. A very small dream started very
Okay.
little, and now it's boomed well. So it's in that way.
But why were not the rest of the 39 people who were not able to pursue their physiotherapist? Why? What happened?
See, it was a year when we came out. Okay, 2007, it was a year when we came out, and 2008 was the biggest recession which happened in the country, in the
Okay.
world. Okay,
Mm.
so and everybody felt okay right from that time itself. Physiotherapy was not a profession where you make money or mint money. No,
Mm.
actually, it was a myth. The people who believed on it, the people who trusted on it, and the people who worked on those aspects. And today, everybody is getting back to physiotherapy.
Okay.
Okay, the people who have gone outside, okay, which they don't have much of an experience, but still now they
Mm.
start their own clinic here, they want to run work in a hospital here and there. And now they can see after 10 years the boom is like anything which you cannot imagine. I'll tell you a figure. So earlier when I was working in one place in Nandanam, so I was earning 4,300 rupees as a first month salary. It's a month
Mm.
salary.
Okay.
And now you can calculate where it can go 10 times more or 20 times more, and that's how it is boomed now.
Wow.
So earlier people were not aware of physiotherapy because they always meant like, the people who have a stroke go, people who
Mm.
have other problems are the people who go to a physiotherapy. No. And now
Mm.
the trend has changed in such a way for pain management and sports injuries. People approach the physiotherapist but before going to the expert or the specialist or
True.
surgeons. And that's how the picture has changed now.
True. There is always I wouldn't say it's a fight. It's a healthy discussion between an orthopedician versus physiotherapist. So how do you see this trend? How do manage when a doctor says no, it shouldn't be done like this? When you stand with your own point, so how will you tackle this kind of situations when the patient comes and says this?
Hmm. So it's usually in all the field it happens. Okay, but it is not basically a crawl, but it is a where it's a teamwork. See, sometimes what happens is in the physiotherapy basis itself, when we diagnose a problem, for the confirming that problem, we send few patients to an orthopedic surgeon or a neurosurgeon for the opinion. Actually,
Okay.
the team has to work together. Okay,
Okay.
sometime when the ophthalmologist or when the orthopedicians or your neurologist who finishes the surgery, yes, they require help for a physiotherapist to rehabilitate that patient
Mm.
as equal to as what he was there before that injury. So
Mm.
basically, it's a hand-in-hand movement. So when
Mm.
you have a right frequency with the people and the orthopedician understands how capable the physiotherapist is, and when the physiotherapist understands and how efficiently the orthopedician is, and it's basically a super duper team which forms so that the benefit or is for the people who are getting under to them. So it's like exactly reaching to the right pinnacle and seeing the rest part of the world, and that's it.
Okay. Now, frankly, today the trend has changed. If you look at this post-COVID, work from home has got increased, right? So a lot of
Yes.
people, they sit at one place, work for continuously 8, 9 hours without even moving their postures, without even changing their position and all that. So what kind of problems that these people are facing today, and how have you? I hope you would have handled so many people with pain or back pain or something like that. So what is the common mistake that these people are doing today?
See, I would rather say just a small correction in your statistics. It's not about 8 to 9 hours. It's more than 12 hours, man.
Okay.
Okay, where people are getting thrashed because when
True.
they go to the office, you have a break at least for a tea to go out and come in for the
Correct.
loo and they have a chat and everything because
True.
that's basically a mental relaxation as well as the body takes a little bit of a break. But
Correct.
here it's continuously where they throttle down. But one thing which we always believed is the house when we are working from home, the furniture is not something which is very important, is what we always believe. Actually, it is not so. When you
Okay.
work from home, your furniture plays a big role in order to get the impact or injury. And
Okay.
today I was talking with one of admin manager. He says like, I sit in the bed, put my pillow, lean back, and start working out. But that is basically a wrong posture which you can do it because a very common problem which we get is the neck as well as the back injury is a very common problem what we get when you work from home for so many hours together. But
Mm.
let's understand, we always know this one phrase called as prevention is better than cure. But
True.
how many of us are concentrating on the prevention?
True.
Nobody else. We are very,
Correct.
very focused on the curative part. Just basically a simple warm up exercise in an everyday basis and simple stretches in an everyday routine will make a huge difference. We've been working and helping few of the corporates right at this current scenario also.
Mm.
We take them weekly twice in a Zoom session. At one
Okay.
particular time, this link is shared with the HR to all
Mm.
the people. They get connected with us to the Zoom. So we give them exercises relating to the posture.
Mm. Mm.
So I can surely tell this group of the people are the people not involved in so much of injury because we are preventing them in some aspects.
Okay.
So the worst exercise which you can do is doing nothing. Do at least something. Okay, either stretch your calf, stretch your hand, move up and take it side. Something or the other which will help you in order to get there.
That's
So these
true.
are small, small things which you have to take care. Yes, now physiotherapist online thing is now booming up
True.
because people always believe. I also haven't believed that I can work in online, but we are making magics in online now. Now there is no boundaries
Correct.
across the globe. You've been working, and that is picking up so well. A lot of corporate is also is welcoming it.
Okay. What are the poses that you would advise for work from home people can maintain throughout this 9, 12 hours so that they don't end up in biggest injuries? Because today, as you rightly said, people are working more than 12, 3 hours. What are the small things that they have to keep it in mind and be cautious in order to not get themselves hurt?
Okay, there are few simple tips which they can help in order to get it. Like, see, every 45 minutes, at least you have to stand and work. Okay,
Okay.
you have to move around, at least move around your chair and come back and sit. And that is something which is very important. And your room temperature matters a lot, where you have to drink a lot of water.
Okay.
Ensure that the blow of your wind of your AC
Hmm.
or your AC and the fan blow is directly not on you. Because
Okay.
sometimes when the room temperature is very low, your muscles gets very rigid. That can
Oh.
also can cause a severe problem in the heel as well as on the neck. This is something which is very important. And
Hmm.
as you said, in ergonomical wise, yes, the height of your system or a monitor should be right straight under your face. It should not be bent down so much. Your height of the chair should be in such a way. And most of the time, people work on laptop. Okay,
Okay.
because what is my advice to the people who are not aware of this one is,
Hmm.
yes, the laptop is meant to be used in the lab. Okay, and also the touchpad is used when you don't have an opportunity for keeping your mouse. But
Correct.
we advise these days with the people or the corporates whom we are annexed with, to advise them to use a wireless mouse with
Mm.
them.
Mm.
See, because what happens is for every small movement, I'm using the biggest muscle of my shoulder.
True. The
So
shoulder
this will
muscle.
end up in a severe problem right at this area or at the shoulder blade area, which will start radiating a pain down, and we will think that there is a disc problem there. Rather, use a mouse so that your wrist is rested completely. See, when you use your mouse, your wrist is rested completely.
Correct.
You have only the movement of the wrist, where
True.
the rest of the shoulder is not used at all. So, like the small things, okay, basic stretches, which if you can go to our page in Instagram or Facebook, you will learn the basic stretches which you can do it on an everyday basis. Where between the calls also you can do a stretch, okay? So taking your hands and start stretching because
That's
you're leaning in one side for such a
correct.
long time, and
Mm.
this part of the trunk gets tighter and again causing severe injuries. Like this, small things which you can sit in a call and itself you can do it. It's all about shift of a mind and the way you are aware of how you want to take care. It all matters there. When
True.
people want to transform, yes, there are a lot of possibilities of transformation.
There is one more thing I would like to ask you. See, today, since this work from home is going to continue for another 5 6 months, people are started investing more on buying comfortable cushions to sit in one place for a very longer time, so that they don't feel any pressure on their body. So it's like not everybody can afford that. What would you suggest in terms of, okay, normal plastic chair is fine as long as you sit in a proper position and maintain your structure. So what would you suggest? Will that be, is it necessary for a person to go for a higher cushion for a continuous position, or is it okay? And as long as you maintain your posture every 45 minutes, if you change it, it is okay.
See, it's simple like that, irrespective of whatever you do. In terms of like, not necessary that you have to go for a high-end cushion. And sometime once you get back to your office, you will feel that now this investment is waste here. Okay,
Correct.
so that is also something you regret what you feel. But what we recommend for the people, you can use your gym ball to sit. Okay, it looks very funny, and when you hear it, it looks very funny. How can I use a gym ball to sit? Okay, we
Mm.
call it as Swiss ball. We call it as a yoga ball. That blue color or pink color, what you see big in the gym, that's a ball. It's a 65 centimeters of one specific height and 75 centimeters another specific height. The advantages of this ball is very simple. You have to keep your spine straight. You cannot slouch your spine because the
True.
ball will roll out.
True.
So the awareness of keeping the spine is there. And the second thing is you cannot lean because there is no armrests.
Armless. Correct.
Your foot has to be flat on the floor because you have to balance the ball. You cannot point your foot, rather the ball will roll out.
Mm.
Okay, so and again, you cannot slouch back and sit because the way you are going down and sitting, which is not possible, again, the ball will roll out.
100%.
And you cannot sit in that ball for more than 45 minutes continuously.
Mm.
You have to get up and take a walk. When you take a walk, you do two things. One, you drink water or you go to loo. That both the things are much more needed for the body to take that break. So if you ask me, just a small ball of around 800, 700, 600 rupees, or you get it in a decathlon or any other center, you can feel it's much more cheaper. Yes, that ball can be more kept in a good inflated position. That will benefit your all your requirements. Is basically is all about. Or else, let me put it in such a way: if you have a furniture, you don't want to invest on the ball. Yes, from the floor, your furniture has to be the way you sit. The tip of the place where you sit should be 23 inches from the floor,
Okay.
and you should have a perfect backrest.
23 inches
There is
above.
an angle between 23 inches from the floor,
Okay. From the floor.
and the
Yes.
space
Mm.
of the chair, the seat length has to cover your knee and the hip.
Okay.
Your seat length, because your chair has a seat as well as a backrest. The seat has to cover your knee and your butt. If it is able to cover this distance perfectly, any furniture is good to you.
Okay.
And if you have any hole at the bottom, like say that they call it as a wired chair, where you
True.
have a small of
Mm. Mm.
holes
Mm.
there, the ventilation is good. You don't get wet at the butt. So sometimes what happens is people get a lot of itch or skin diseases because of sitting in the cushion for a long hours. It sweats down, and again you get a fungal infection there. That is also is a very common problem these days because of long sitting.
Yes, I remember when you go to any government office, where all the government official used to sit on their wire chair, where you can see all
Exactly.
the holes. Now I get to know the reason behind it. Good that you shared. Okay, now uh, me being at home, what are the basic equipments that I should have in order to, maybe for a stretchers or for exercise? You you being a physiotherapist, and you know what kind of problems that a man or a woman will get when once the age goes pass by. So what are the basic equipments that is needed in everyone's home?
See, the one of the biggest or the beautiful equipment which you have for yourself is your own body itself.
Mm.
Nothing resistance like this. Okay, we call something as our own body exercises. Okay,
Okay.
when we recommend a sporting population or a normal individual to go for resistant exercises is when you overdo your own body exercise. It means that you get bored about your own body exercises. Then we ask you to go for a minimal resistance. Minimal
Mm.
resistance, you can use a tube, you can use a band, you can use a 1.5 kg dumbbells, a small kettlebell, or some tube or rubber or tire, which you can use it not to strengthening them. But eventually, there are few exercises which you are not able to do it in your own body.
Mm.
It means that your body is not ready for the resistance. So, for an amateur to start his workout and reach that pinnacle of doing his own body itself, it will take at least 10 to 12 months. That itself will give you a lot of fitness physique and a lot of pumping of your body, and a lot of feel good factor will be more. Okay, see, being doing a burpees or doing a Superman, so doing an Ironman, okay, doing a push-ups, doing a free squat, this
Mm.
itself will make you to get into the shape. Okay, the only thing is you want to have a bit more tone, and depending upon the individual, the weight is required. So
Okay.
sometimes when people go to the gym,
Mm.
okay, so they lift 15 kgs, 20 kgs, 25 kgs, 5 repetition, 10 repetition. But if you ask them to run in the road, not more than 1 kilometer they can run. Okay, it's like generally into that. So when you call about the word called fitness to an individual, it has to cover the 6 components of fitness completely. That is where you're fulfilling. If you ask me as an advice, I would say first to do it on your own body, and when you feel comfortable and bored up with your own body, then go with tubes and rubbers, which you get it in a normal store itself. And there are a lot of exercises which you can do it, or them when you overdo them, means you get bored on them, then go for resistance.
True.
And that is a way of the protocol which has to be done.
Okay. So when you said use your own body, what are some of the basic exercise that you would recommend for a person to keep himself or herself fit, other
Okay,
than
this is also
stretches? Huh.
okay. So stretches is something very basic. Okay, and strengthening exercises like everybody know, when you have a pull-ups or when you have a push-ups, when you have a burpees, when you can do a mountain climb like for the cardio exercises, jumping jacks, double leg jump, okay, jump squat. So these are basic exercises which will eventually will categorize it. So you'll have a lot of videos which has already been downloaded there. But pick that category. So strengthening for upper body in your own body exercises.
Mm.
Okay, so strengthening for the lower legs in the own body exercises. So go very specific to your requirement. If
Okay.
you go specific to your requirement, you will find a lot of new things. But yes, just because they do it, it is not mandatory that you do it. Okay, and that's because they are able to do the pull-ups for around 25 times. But you know what is your imaginary line. You should
Mm.
stick to your imaginary line. First, to start with 3, go to 5, 7, 10. Okay, so I remember one day, one of the very popular person in India started yoga in TV. The next day, I had so much of consultation in my clinic. So it's like that.
Okay.
Okay, so the person who has been practicing it for so many years is able to take his leg to the neck.
Oh
For
my God.
in our area where the people are of we call it as ghee baby apna nahi kondan suno. So it is like that. We've been there at home, and all of a sudden you want to take the leg and put it in your neck, and
Not
here catch,
possible.
there catch, here pull. No, where it is possible. So race to race it will vary, gender to gender it will vary, age to
100%.
age it will vary, person to person it will vary. See, for example, your slipper size and my slipper size doesn't suit
Correct.
each other. If the same slipper size doesn't suit, how can they exercise? So that
Very
is the
true.
point where we come say called as exercise prescription. Your exercise has to be designed according to your requirement, and that can be done by an expert. Either if he is good have been a certified trainer or a physiotherapist who can help you in order to design your exercises which you have to follow.
Okay. So walking being the most preferred workout for so many people, right from younger age to the older age, walking being the most preferred exercise for everyone. So what are some
Uh,
of the things that people should keep in mind in order to not to get hurt when they are walking?
okay. Uh, First, they should know what is the purpose of walking.
Okay.
Okay, just because of walking you should not walk. Okay, you
Mm.
should have two purpose. Okay, one is keeping yourself fit, or
Mm.
me putting my diabetes down or BP down.
Mm.
Okay, this is only the major two purposes what the people walk. So if anybody who was more related to the BP or the diabetic related of issues, Walking anything between 30 to 45 minutes is good so that the muscle glucose is burnt out and you maintain your diabetic level.
Mm.
Anybody is walking just only for 45 minutes and going to home, having a coffee and lying down on the sofa, if you walk for years together also, you will lose only few grams. Because in the physiology of exercises, anything what you do continuously more than 45 minutes is where your fat starts burning.
Okay.
Okay, and that is where you start losing weight. Anything you are doing less than 45 minutes, you might regain one. Rather, your equality of burning your fat is not so. Only your glucose in the body gets burned to give energy. So
Okay.
anything what you're going to do from 45 minutes to 1 hour, 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes, that half an hour your fat will burn. A good example is burning a tar. A tar
Okay.
gets melt only after it reaching the 45 minutes and above. If you do anything below than 45 minutes, the tar is not going to melt. It's exactly the same example.
Okay.
And in walking, there is nothing called as brisk walk. Basically, that is unnecessary.
Mm.
And eventually, that is so injurious. Why you have to take a longer step to walk? Why you have to swing your arms so high in your
Mm.
walking? Just to show off, nothing else. Okay,
True.
there is nothing called as such of a brisk walk, because you injure your hamstring and the shoulder muscle so badly in
Hmm.
doing your brisk walk. Rather, you have your own pace of a walk, continue the same pace for 30 minutes, 25 minutes, or 45 minutes what you're walking. Aramse, you can take it so that it is easy for people to continue the process. Rather,
Okay.
taking a brisk walk for 3 days and next to 5 days rest. There is no point in
No
doing that
point in
because of
doing that.
injury. So it's basically keep your own pace. Don't compare with each other and go with your own pace all throughout the time. What you have stipulated, try to finish that time. That's the goal.
Okay.
That's all
What
about walk.
what are the basic recovery ideas or suggestions that you would give when a person gets a, let's say, heel pain or a cough pain or a hamstring pain or something like that? What is a quick remedy or a recovery ideas that you would suggest?
See, if you ask me in general, with a quick recovery, rather, I would say any impact related to a sports or recreational sporting activities, get inside the pool and start walking inside the pool for 40 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, where the body weight is not there, the muscle loosens up very well, the body temperature is getting regulated, and eventually you sweat a lot inside the water. So just because of water, you don't feel it, but you sweat nearly around 5 times more than being in land. And that's why
Okay.
when people are very heavy of 110, 120 kgs, we don't start the exercise on the land, because anything which I'm going to give, it's going to injure him. So first 2 months or 3 months, all his workout will be only inside the water. So,
Okay.
and the moment he drops down to the two digits, then only we take him on the land when we start giving that exercises.
Mm.
And icing is the best medicine when you ask me for the recovery. And
Okay.
stretching is a fantastic medicine. But icing is something which is very least used by our country people, because we
Okay.
don't really appreciate them. But
True.
that is a fantastic medicine until or unless you don't have a burn injury or you don't have a direct cut injury, which is little bit wider. Your icing is contraindicated. Other than that, you can start icing for anything and everything,
Okay.
because icing is a basic medicine which you can give it for any injuries.
Okay.
And these are the two areas of recovery which can be done very easily
Okay.
and cost effectively.
Oh, true, that's true. And now that all the sports are being put on halt, now the sports person also may prone to injuries, right? So, uh, not that just they don't participate in the event, they're not in a position to participate in the event. Now, what is your advice for them to keep themselves fit other than exercise and diet?
Okay, so it's basically that you have to start doing very small thing which is related to your work. So, for
Mm,
example, if we talk about a marathon runner,
mm.
okay, so I see people walking, running inside the house, or people who are running inside the terrace. Actually, they are wrong. You are not supposed to do that.
There are people
Actually,
running
walking.
25, 30 kilometers on the terrace.
Okay, so please refer me to them. So they may require my help. Okay, so because it is very interesting. See, let's think about your terrace is quite small, and for every 30 steps you take a turn, and every
True.
30 steps you take a turn. Inside your house, it's just only 2,000 square feet house. How long you will run and how bad you will run, and the loading of the structure is not so even, so it gets
Correct.
bad into an injury. If
Mm,
you are a runner, okay, anyway, nothing pandemic is going to happen. If you're in a community place, you can run inside your place, or if it is, you can run inside the road, because there are few controversies about wearing a mask and running. Keeping those things apart, yes, the immune system will not come very close to you. I mean, the immune or infections will not come very close to you because your body is warm already. So you can do things, but ensure that you do it little and maintain that tone. Never overdo it. Okay. So there are few runners, I've seen few groups go for these challenges. 2 kilometer run for 100 days, 5 kilometer run for 100 days, 10 kilometer run for 10 days. Seriously, I want to understand what you are trying to improve. Okay, so for example, in 2 kilometers, if you're going to run, okay, it's going to be say taking what, 15 minutes maximum or 20 minutes maximum.
True,
That's
true.
it. So every day you're going to run only the 20 kilometers. So what are you trying to build there?
Mm,
Nothing. And why 100 days? And again, a big question. Why
true.
not 10 days? Why not?
10 days.
Why not 10? Okay. Why alternative days only for 1 week or 2 weeks? Because you're toning that muscle. I understand. But why is that 10 days? Just because they want to engage somebody with something else. This is getting closer. And we seriously don't know who invented this. And and Opana, if I want to talk, and it is like, we have to understand, like, what is the science behind person who's taught to do this. Okay, so because very recently you can see in Chennai around, which I know a few group of people who are running for 100, 10 kilometers for 100 days and 20 kilometers, 5 kilometers for 200 days. There are serious fatal deaths which has already happened. Okay, right at the spot on the road itself. Okay, there
My
are
God.
people who have death because of heart arrest. The cardiac infarct. But they don't know science behind it. Okay, that's what I said. Okay, what are you trying to improve? You're trying to cut short the timing. You're trying to increase your endurance. Oh, no, you're not doing anything like lots of. You just want to get that number there. You want to have one medal. If you go to the next shop itself, you can print your own name and you
True.
want to get it, get it. But rather, why you want to whack your structure and get injury? But
Correct.
don't do that because they don't have a big science. If at all they have a science, I'll share my number in this video. Please share me the science behind it or in what way it's going to improve us so that we can also recommend people in order to do that. That's
Correct. People
again an
become
open
very
topic.
crazy because marathon, I don't see it as a event anymore. It become business. So everybody wants to, conduct some big marathon events. For that to, in order to bring people to participate, they throw some kind of pre-event shows. Like, okay, you run for 20 days, 30 days, and then post it on Instagram or a Facebook. So people addicted to that fame rather than the objective has changed today. So rather than being
Hmm.
fit,
So because
uh,
right from the beginning, we've been also advising people every Sunday there is a run. I would rather say this Corona break is a super duper break.
correct,
Okay, nobody can get into the road and no
true.
gathering can happen
Mm,
because now people who have been overdoing, at least they are taking a rest at home for some time.
mm,
Okay, because there was a overdoing. See, the people who conduct a marathon are the people of different organizations or
correct,
different event managers. But the people who run are the same.
correct. That's
It's
true.
not their mistake. It's not
That's
their
true.
mistake. It's your mistake. So that is
That's
what
true.
I recommend when the known people of runners, we say, see, choose only 3 runs in a year. Okay,
Correct.
either it's going to
Advice.
be 10 kilometers, stick to the 10 kilometers every day. So first run to the second run to the third run, try to cut short the timing. Work together, sub 1, sub 50. That should be your goal when you run for 10 kilometers. Rather, the same 1 hour and 20 minutes in all the 3 races. But here, now things goes a little more crazy. Jan 1st, I start my running because I took a, what do you call, resolutions of starting. And in December 31st, it runs full marathon.
That's crazy.
Okay, so that is called as carrying it away, carried away with the groups, carried away with the social media. He done it, I done it. Boss, somewhere we are heading it for. It's like this. Whatever decision you people take, okay, either you are taking it right or not, we have work. Either if you're running, also we have work. Either if you're not running, also we have work. Irrespective of any sport,
Correct.
we don't recommend people running 7 days in the week. I'll tell you something very interesting, which I was sharing in very recent my Instagram view about the shoes.
Mm.
I was sharing a shoe requires 48 hours of rest. Okay, it's not the human. The shoe requires a 48 hours of rest for the midsole to increase the durability and decushioning it. When you squeeze it, it goes for a compression. For the decompression, it took 48 hours in order to. The shoe itself requires 48 hours of rest. Think about the joints and the muscles for what you people want.
True.
So when doctor advise this one, don't do it, they always feel that doctor is very jealous about me.
Correct. That's true.
So
And
it's like that.
this is about people who are having this problem, obesity problem. When they walk,
Huh.
they get knee pain or a heel pain very often. So, what would you
Yeah.
suggest for them to take care of?
See, as I told you right in the beginning itself, the people who are little obese and the lower body is very weak,
Mm.
anything doing it on the land, we don't recommend. You
Okay.
have to get inside the water and do it. See, the
Okay.
buoyancy plays a big role. For instance, if you are going to be 70 kgs and inside the water, your weight is only 7 kgs.
Okay.
So anything on the land, if you're going to walk, you cannot walk for 1 hour because there's going to be a lot of aches and pains. The
Mm.
same 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes, very easily people will be able to walk inside the water.
Okay.
So from 3 digits, get them into 2 digits. So sometimes when people are 90 itself, they feel heavy. Until they feel heavy, they have to be inside the water. When they feel lighter, is what you have to take it to the land, and very progressively you have to start it.
Okay.
Okay, because they are prone to injuries. So very progressively you have to start, step by step. You have to guide and take them to the next level of their whatever the dream and the goals of what they have.
Okay. One final question to you, Franklin. Uh, when do you suggest people to approach a physiotherapist or a doctor? Because most of the time people think that okay, this is just a 1 day or 2 day pain. It will goes off. I can tolerate, which is actually personally feel which is wrong. So anything that sensitive in our any pain or any cramp or fracture or something, I would recommend people to go and approach the physician first rather than taking home remedies. So when would you advise people to approach either you or a doctor? Is there any time limit for people to wait and see and then go and approach?
Yes, it is there. See, basically, it is a stipulated time of 48 hours.
Hmm.
Any injury which happens, an ankle twist or a knee injury, or the knee gets swelled up, the knee is not into control. Other than dislocation or anything which is very fatal and very emergency, you can wait for 48 hours. See, what
Okay.
happens is when you get into any type of an injury, the body undergoes a shock. Okay,
Okay.
that shock state takes nearly around 36 hours to 48 hours to come down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the moment they come down only, you will really know where is your problem it's all about. See,
Okay.
sometimes you had a fall, you had an injury, immediately you are taking to the hospital. They will also will keep you in a little bit of a sedative, or they give you a painkiller and keep you rest only. They don't do any major treatment until
Okay.
you are openly bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the home remedies or a home treatment, it's just the ice for any injury will work better, and eventually just wait for 48 hours. See, any pain, the intensity of the pain is coming down in 48 hours.
Okay.
Sometimes your mobility is better in 48 hours.
Mm.
The pain is exactly called as a strain.
Okay.
So அப்படியே விட்டுட்டு ice, if you just leave it as such, and when you continue the icing for the next 2 3 days itself, your pain will eventually will settle down. But
Okay.
after waiting for 48 hours, the intensity of the pain is not coming down. The
Mm.
swelling is increasing. Your mobility is reduced. Then
Mm.
get into the doctor.
Okay.
Okay, and search for an expert and get there. See, for example, uh, never go to a normal orthopedician for a sports injury.
Mm-hmm.
There are few sports medicine specialists where you have to approach them if you are a recreational sporting population or a professional sporting population. See, because the people have to understand what you're trying to tell them.
Mm.
Okay, so because in sporting medicine, the approach is in such a way that okay, in a very short stipulated time, you have to get back to your sport.
Mm.
That's
Mm.
how the sporting population fraternity works. Okay, when you get into the normal practicing people, it usually ends up in such a way that they take their own time to treat you.
Okay.
They will not understand your stress and your depressive way or your way of putting them forward. They will not be really able to understand. So
Mm.
if a doctor is very serious about some activity or sport, then it is understood that he will be able to understand your thought process. You want to get back to the game faster.
Correct.
Or if the doctor is not into the same amplitude of what you are thinking, you are landing in you are landing in the wrong country where you are going to take a longer time for you to get back to the process. And
Okay.
also, everybody feels that everybody can do everything. No, actually, it is not so.
Mm-hmm.
If a person gets injured or fractured, the work of the surgery is by the orthopedician doctor. The physiotherapist plays a role in terms of rehabilitating him and getting back. The nutritionist plays a role in order not to increase in weight in the rest period or immobilized period. And post after that, the fitness partner will, or a fitness trainer will play a big role. Then the coach will play a big role. Then the team will play a big role. This is a basically a complete area. It is not only a professional way, but also in the recreational part, this plays a big role.
Correct.
It's like say a marathon runner group has a coach, have a nutritionist, have a strengthening coaches, because they should also be aware of your injuries, because that is
Correct.
where they
Mm.
manipulate and give you exercises which is accordingly where it is designed it according to you. So it's not like blankly giving you a sheet of paper, ticking the exercises, do everything. No, that doesn't work in sport or in
Correct.
recreational activities.
That's
Rather,
true.
your exercise has to be designed by the expert specifically for you. That is what will work.
I know that what are the things that I should be doing in this work from home period, because I've been working from home for the last 4 months almost, and it is going to continue for me also. So the reason behind this show is to get to know from industry experts, as I said before. Only you can talk about your industry. You are qualified and you are eligible and you are experienced. Only when you talk, people listen. So that's why I
Correct.
have initiated this for the benefit of all the others in the world. That okay. So thank you so much once again, Franklin, for joining me on my show, Honestly Speaking with Balaji. So I definitely people will benefit from your insights. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.